It's not a surprise to hear that Fortnite has had a huge decline in viewership over the past couple years, but let's see where that decline really started and can it be revived. The decline of Fortnite really started after World Cup. Season X has gone down as one of the worst seasons in Fortnite history. With mechs being added to the game, it made the game almost unplayable and so many players just got absolutely frustrated.
Yeah, watch your side. Yeah, yeah. Getting mechs! The mech's tarping in! He's tarping it in! Oh no. Oh, launch! I launched! What are the odds? Oh, the mechs! Why the fuck are they a fucking thing, dude? Holy fuck, man. I'm not playing anymore, bro. I'm off this game. I'm sorry, Tim. I'm not playing anymore today. I'm off this fucking game, bro.
It's all right. I get it.
I love this game so much. And how incompetent is this decision, dude? I'm off this game. I can't play it.
But players started getting excited after the Black Hole event and a new chapter would emerge. After the initial peak of Fortnite in June of 2020 during the start of COVID, everything would go downhill from there. Since COVID had just started, there was no way for Epic Games to push out new content or a new season, which led to one of the longest seasons in Fortnite history, with Chapter 2 Season 1 lasting 128 days and Season 2 lasting 119 days, which therefore led to the player base just being fed up with no new content as the game started to get stale. And with these two extremely long seasons, it led to an insane skill gap in those who decided to take part in wagers and play creative. And because of this insanely large skill gap, it led to players dying more often, which would then frustrate them and make them not want to play the game.
You're using wall hacks. How do you save it? No! This isn't fair! No! Stop! This isn't fair! This isn't fair!
This didn't just happen to the average player though. Throughout the rest of Chapter 2, we would see some of the most beloved Fortnite creators and pros officially move on from Fortnite.
This is short as possible, but I am officially quitting competitive Fortnite to pursue Valorant.
What I'm gonna be doing feels really weird to say, especially coming from someone like me, is I'm gonna stop competing in Fortnite. I'm gonna stop playing tournaments. I'm gonna stop playing scrims.
And the more the creators leave, the more the viewers will follow. Now, in the middle of Chapter 2, we were stuck with barely any updates, no patch notes from Epic, and overall, less people wanting to play the game. And the further we got into Chapter 2, the more and more collabs Fortnite would do. At this point, it's impossible to name every single collab, but they have had so many collabs with Marvel, Rick and Morty, and just, like I said, countless others. And I think this really told the player base that they really are just trying to cash out on the game as much as possible by adding these into the game. Not to say some of these items weren't cool and fun for players who like them, but at some point you gotta wonder, why did they do so many of them? But let's move on from Chapter 2 and talk about the mess, which is Chapter 3. With an entire new map and new mechanics, the hype for Fortnite was back, but would again see another major decline after returning players realized why they fell out of love with the game in the first place. And this mainly was due to the game just not really having that spark that it used to. And as the chapter continued, we began to see very minimal changes throughout the first 3 seasons. This included not many map changes or updates to the weapon meta. And I believe this chapter we have seen the most amount of people quit playing Fortnite. That goes from pros to casual players. And I do think the main cause of this has to be the SMG meta. There's been different times in Fortnite where the SMGs have overtaken other shotguns, but this chapter changed everything for the worse. And with Season 1 introducing the Stinger SMG, players would quickly begin to realize that this gun is broken, which led to players getting extremely frustrated.
Man, I love Fortnite, bro. Nah, like actually, dude, I really do love Fortnite, bro. I just hope it gets out of this meta. That's literally all I hope, bro. I love Fortnite, man.
This weapon even had creators making videos on how to counter it.
I'm not going to sit here and pretend that the Stinger SMG is completely counterable, but there are absolutely some measures that you can put in place to ensure that you don't fall victim to the high fire rate of this weapon.
And with the beginning of Season 2, everybody was hoping for a change. But Epic had other plans and decided to add the Combat SMG, which was somehow more broken than the Stinger. This gun had a faster fire rate, more ammo, and did way more damage. And with both the Stinger and Combat SMG in the game, players started to get extremely annoyed. But again, in Season 3, players prayed and begged for a change, and they somewhat got it. The Combat SMG was out of the game, but the Stinger was still in the game, unfortunately. Everyone just seemed to accept the fact that the Stinger was here to stay. And pretty much during these 3 seasons, the game really didn't change at all, which again led to players being even more frustrated and just getting burnt out playing the game with no changes. Now that leads us to the present, Chapter 3, Season 4. So what is the state of the game at now? The weapon meta is much better these recent seasons, and we have seen lots of map changes, but there's nothing really fun in the game at the moment, which is leading a lot of players to say that this might be the most boring season of Fortnite ever. So we can see that Fortnite is dying, but this sparks the question, can Fortnite revive their player base? We've seen Epic Games try to do this before in different methods, but one of the huge things that I left out which increased the player base this chapter was the addition of zero builds. This was Epic's way of bringing back players who couldn't keep up with the huge skill gap in building, and it turned out to be extremely successful and managed to bring back one of the OGs of Fortnite, Tfue, who now plays no builds religiously. Epic would also start hosting tournaments for no builds to get more hype surrounding it, but overall Fortnite is still not seeing even close to the viewership that it used to have. Epic would announce an event called the Reboot Rally, where if you got one of your friends who hasn't played the game in a while to play again, you would earn some cosmetics. But this would never really have a long-lasting effect and would at most only get a small percentage of players to regain interest in the game again. So this leads to the question, what can Epic do to regain hype around Fortnite and increase its viewership? It seems like most of the community believes that if another World Cup was announced, it would skyrocket Fortnite's viewership. But there's really only one way we can see if that's true. With there being no official LANs hosted by Epic since the last World Cup due to COVID, we haven't gotten to see what the viewership would look like again. But recently, Epic has announced a $1 million invitational LAN. This will have the best competitors across the globe competing, and it will be broadcasted live on November 12th and 13th. After seeing what the viewership for the first LAN since 2019 gets, I think then and only then we can estimate how many viewers a World Cup would pull. One of the most popular ideas to make Fortnite more fun again would be to bring back the OG weapons like pumps and ARs. But I don't think this will be a good fix in the long run. We already had pumps and regular ARs when the game started declining in the first place. I believe we need more fun items to return to the game, for example in Chapter 2 Season 2. This was one of the peaks of Fortnite before it started declining, and it was mainly due to the fun mythics added into the game. Yes, they were very annoying to play against, but when you got your hands on them, it was so fun to use, and that's what mainly got people to play the game again in the first place. The last option I'm going to talk about in this video is starting a new chapter. There's been a theory going around that next season might be the start of Chapter 4, and if you want me to make a video on it, let me know down in the comments below. But I think that this idea might be one of the better ones to get players interested in the game again. Like I said before, Chapter 3 has been a massive failure compared to the previous two chapters, and it may be beneficial to start off on a clean slate again. This means more players will try out the new chapter as they always do, and with a new map, the game will be refreshing. But the only way to actually make players stay is to add new and interesting items and weapons into the game. And without this, the game will lose all hype, and those returning players will just leave again. Overall, it is really hard to tell if Fortnite can make a comeback and return to the viewership and player base it once had. Whether all it takes is a World Cup, a new chapter, or OG items returning, we'll never know unless it actually happens, so let me know down in the comments below if I left something out or other ideas that might revive the game. Thank you all so much for watching until the end. Check out my socials in the description. I'm live every day on Twitch at ACEDFN_, and leave a like and sub if you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.